We are now just a couple of weeks away from the launch of the Black Armory DLC in Destiny 2, and honestly we don't know all that much about the new content that we're gonna get. However, as always with a new content drop in Destiny, there's a lot that we can do to prepare if we want to, but also, with the new season structure in Destiny 2, there are a few things to know about, including content which goes away or resets in Season 5. So we're gonna break down how you can get ready for the new power level, and there are some pretty good tricks to bear in mind there. We'll also talk about economy and ways to have the most painless experience with upgrades, enhancement cores, materials, and all that good stuff. And of course, those seasonal warnings, as well as tips for week 1 of Season 5, and then the Black Armory DLC. So I hope this video is useful for everybody. Now let's get into it. So what's up guys, my name is Houndish. We're going to break down more or less everything worth knowing about the new content and ways to maximize your experience with Black Armory. But it should be said that Black Armory is going to be a smaller infusion of content than something like Forsaken, and there is absolutely no need to rush. Some folks tend to feel like these videos endorse rushing and kind of ruining the experience, but openly the intention here is to provide information and different options for players. We can all play the game however we want to. Rushing is not necessary unless that's what you like to do. It's your game folks, you can play it however you want to. Now, let's talk about Black Armory. One thing which is almost certainly going to happen is a new power level in the game. Bungie haven't revealed what that is, but I would be surprised if it was less than 100. We also don't know if we'll have an initial XP climb for the base character level like we've seen with some of the previous expansions, but there are some pretty huge things that you can do to prep. So right here, a little bit close to the mark this one, but Iron Banner bounties, of course, reward powerful gear. And the powerful gear is rewarded upon turning the bounties in, so we assume that even after Forsaken, these powerful drops will continue to scale with your character. So what some people are actually doing is completing these Iron Banner bounties, because of course that's a lot of powerful gear right there. Bungie haven't warned about bounties being removed from inventories or anything like that. In fact, they've confirmed that some other types of bounties will actually remain. So if you can complete these and hold on to them until the first week of Black Armory, or even better, after you've hit the soft cap in Black Armory, the theory is that you can turn them in and get powerful rewards inside of Season 5, which would absolutely be huge. But of course, we just have a day or so to get that done at this point. However, you can do the same thing with things like the Gambit bounties. So of course, there is one Gambit bounty which rewards powerful gear. Theoretically, you can do the exact same thing, and we know that this bounty is going to carry over, as well as all of the other Gambit bounties, because Bungie said players who complete Gambit bounties during Season of the Outlaw, which of course is this season, can actually keep those bounties in their inventories after the season transitions, but must complete a Gambit match in the new season before turning them in. So Bungie are increasing the amount of infamy that we'll earn inside of Gambit, and so right now you could probably save at least 2 weeks of powerful Gambit bounties, and then when Black Armory launches, make sure that you jump into Gambit, play a game, then turn those bounties in. You'll get more infamy, and theoretically you'll get the powerful rewards, but inside of Season 5, and of course they would be over 600 power. Another shout when it comes to powerful bounties would be the Spider bounty. It's also going to drop powerful gear, and again you've got a couple of weeks to hold on to some of those before Black Armory launches. If Bungie say anything that suggests that what we're doing here will not work, I'll keep you guys posted, but currently a lot of people are saving these bounties to get new powerful gear in Season 5. So that's going to do it for the power leveling stuff. Now let's talk about economy preparation for the new DLC, and some of this is going to be pretty important, because as we've seen with Forsaken, some of the economy has been a little bit crushing. So of course we have enhancement cores. I would absolutely recommend that you grind the Spiders bounties that can drop enhancement cores, as well as any scrapper bounties that you get right now before the launch of DLC. Of course, once we get a bunch of new gear in the game, if you're wanting to masterwork stuff, it's going to be a very expensive process, so don't miss out on these. Another shout would be to get as many mod components right now as you can. It would be absolutely horrible to be trying to hunt mod components in week 1 of the DLC. We don't know if we're going to get new mods, but of course we will have the current mods still rotating week to week. And a quick shout here, there are some Year 1 blue weapons that you can delete which will drop mod components at a pretty good rate. Things like the Requiem shotgun right here. If you have any of these Year 1 blues, you can find them in other weapon tabs as well. You'll generally have to delete around 9 of them to get maybe 1 or 2 mod components, but it is currently the most effective way to just farm mod components out. Next though, make sure that you save any bright dust if you can, and it'll also be a good shout right now to complete Eververse bounties. Of course they reward bright dust, so stack up as much of that as you can, because there will be a new inventory of items that we can pick up. On top of this, as a brief warning, the prismatic facets that we have in the game right now are tied to Season 4. Of course they drop from one of the Eververse bounties. Any of these that you have need to be used before Season 5, because they will become redundant and won't be able to be turned in. Of course, another very typical shout right here would be to save planetary materials. We need plenty of them for upgrades and that good stuff, so the more you have, the easier the transition into the new season is going to be. You can opt to save bounties. If we do indeed have to grind any base XP on the character, then this is actually going to be pretty useful. And of course, they will grant tokens. There will probably be some new rewards inside of the vendor loot tables, but also in theory, you can hold multiple completed bounties towards a faster Ikora bounty in the Black Armory. Of course, Ikora has a challenge to complete 20 bounties in a week, and once bounties are completed, they'll actually stay in your inventory. I would also mention that clan bounties can possibly be saved to push your clan rank harder in next season, and the thing to note about this is that you would only have to wait until the 27th at the start of the new season, unless Bungie states otherwise. And on top of this, having plenty of legendary shards, as always, is very good. It might be worth spending 10 minutes as well clearing out some vault space if you've got any duplicate weapons. Essentially, if you've got any trash that you really don't need, it could be worth clearing it out, getting those materials, and of course making more space. And I think that's about the best that you could do to prepare for economy in Forsaken. Let us know in the comment section if you have any other additional tips. And of course, just to clarify, in case you're wondering about the two dates, Season 5 begins on the 27th of November. And of course, that is when Season 4 ends, so anything you need to get done will need to be done by then. The Black Armory itself will not launch until the 4th of December. So there will be one of those unusual off weeks in between. And now that we've mentioned the dates, let's talk about content which is going to be locked, retired, or reset at the end of Season 4. Everything we're going to list here will have to be done before the 27th of November. So first up, seasonal quests. We do have things like Pinnacle Crucible weapons that will include Not Forgotten, Luna's Howl, and Redrix's Broadsword. The quests that you have for those won't be removed, but the ranks for those playlists will be reset. So if you have a step requiring a specific rank, do bear in mind that you'll have to hit that rank before the end of Season 4, otherwise it will reset and you'll have to go all the way through those ranks to achieve that number again in Season 5. The Gambit ranks will also reset, but that will only affect rewards and items that require you to do resets inside of a single season. So if you're actually working for things like the Ghost Shell, tracking for the title or anything like that, you can do it over multiple seasons. The Vanguard Nightfall rank is going to reset. The main reward for that right now would be the shotgun. Presumably that shotgun will no longer be available and there will be a new Nightfall rank weapon. So you will have to hit Nightfall rank 14 and pick that up before the end of the season if you want to be guaranteed availability for it. On top of this, Bungie have confirmed that all triumphs with Season 4 in the title will expire and be removed at the start of Season of the Forge, so if you haven't completed them, they will become unavailable, and that's going to include all of the Gambit triumphs that you can see on the screen, reaching rank Fabled and reviving 100 allies, resetting Infamy rank twice and generating 1,000 orbs, completing 5 weekly challenge bounties, depositing 1,000 motes, and defeating 100 opponents as a defender or invader. You have to do all of those within Season 4. There is also the Crucible, Season 4 Combat, Season 4 Challenges, Season 4 Armor Collection, Season 4 Valor Legend, Season 4 Glory Streak, Season 4 Legendary Victory, and then of course there is Season 4 Iron Banner, 15 Iron Banner packages, Iron Remembrance, and that's to complete the Iron Banner set, and then finally we've got Vanguard Season 4, where you reach Vanguard rank 25 and Nightfall rank 12. So those are all of the things that are going to change in just over a week's time on the 27th of November. The final thing I would shout out right here are a couple of things that you can actually focus on the first couple of weeks inside of Black Armory. So some quick shouts. I would try and avoid burning materials on upgrades of new gear. Economy is very expensive as we've seen with Forsaken, so I would save your cores, materials for after the main power level, or at least until you've found gear that you know you want to keep. Secondly, save powerful rewards for as long as possible in the first week. Of course, use your normal drops to hit the soft cap. We're not sure what the soft cap will actually be, but essentially that is the point where blues and world legendaries stop giving reasonable upgrades to power, and your character begins to rely on challenges with powerful rewards. So hold on to most of those challenges towards the end of the first week if you can. Of course, take Fireteam medallions as you play, especially if we have to earn some base character level as well. These will give you a small boost to XP, and they improve drop rates which can be useful pre-soft cap. Also focus on equipping an XP Ghost Shell if we have to go through this process. Finally, I'd say have fun and don't feel like you need to rush. This is going to be a smaller update, so it might be best not to burn out immediately. As I've said before, rushing is not necessary at all, unless that's what you want to do. But guys, that would summarize most of the stuff that I can think of to prepare for Black Armory. So let us know down below if I've missed anything out, any tips you'd have for other players. Of course, things like the bounties with powerful rewards, if indeed they work going into the next expansion, they're going to be really, really useful and make a lot of difference to players. But I have to keep you posted on anything Bungie say about the next update. Next week, we are going to get a big influx with a lot of news about the seasons, as well as Black Armory itself. So while this week may be a little bit quiet, it is very much the calm before probably a fairly major storm over the next couple of weeks. But guys, if you have found the video enjoyable or useful, a rating really helps me out down below. If you're new to the channel and you want to stay tuned, keep up to date with everything related to Black Armory, all of Destiny's content, updates, guides, and all that good stuff, then be sure to hit subscribe, turn on those notifications so you don't miss out on anything. As always, I super appreciate you guys watching this video, and whatever you do, I hope you have an awesome day.